Setting your hoop tension is a somewhat tricky process until you start to get an eye for it. What you're really doing is growing or shrinking the size of this portion of the hoop to allow a space for the fabric to fit in between this little gap that we get here. Right, so depending on the thickness of the garment, will depend on how much of a gap we want there. So for these hoops, it's best to look here. So with this specific hoop, the 15 is up, the number is up. So if we are to roll the dial up, we are going to put more space into the hoop, right? So this area gets a little bit bigger. If we need to get it a little bit tighter, we're going to pull down. So we're going to take space out of the hoop, right? Down, out, take it away. All right, and this will get smaller, so the hoop will get tighter, right? So it really depends on how thick your garment is. You don't want to hoop it too tight, because then you'll get what's called hoop burn. You also don't want to hoop it too loose, because then that'll cause some issues and potential catastrophic issues on the machine. So the guidance I was given at one point in time, which I think was a little excessive, is when you go to hoop, right, we should be able to kind of easily push it in with one hand. I've always found you still need two hands, but that's kind of the guidance for how much pressure, how much struggle you should have to put it in. You really shouldn't have to crank down real hard to get your hoop to fit in there. You'll start to get a feel for how wide things are for your normal shirts, like your K500 polo shirts, compared to a dress shirt, which is thinner, to a sweatshirt, which is thicker, and a jacket that's even thicker. There are some materials that we are not going to use these kind of hoops for. We use magnetic hoops, and that could be things like your puffy jackets. You don't want to try and come close to ripping, or Carhartts, or other things that are thicker or more complicated of a hoop. And those are just magnets that clamp together, so it's actually sandwiching the material between the hoop instead of pinching it like it is here. Just a little bit different way of hooping. Anyways, that's how you size your circular hoops.